When you depend on somebody, you can gain whatever you want. The Buddha did not introduce this method. This is the common belief before and after the Buddha. Still people maintain this belief. It's very difficult to take out this belief from the man's mind because understanding is very, very poor. Then who is responsible? You are responsible. If you can admit that, then you know how to adjust your life, your way of life, your thoughts, your words, your action, your behavior, everything you have to adjust. There is nobody else who can adjust. Take for instance, if you are a cruel person, you admit that you are cruel. Then go and pray. Asking somebody else to take away your cruelty from your mind. Do you think it is possible? Who can take away your cruelty from your mind? Nobody else. You are the only one who can do that. By realizing, this cruelty is bad, wicked, create lot of problems, miseries, disturbances. Therefore, I should not harbor this cruelty in my mind. I must reduce and reduce and reduce. I must tolerate. No external forces can do that. Your own mind can do that. That is how worse sinners, criminal-minded people have become saints. Not through the influence of external agency, but through understanding. So the Buddha wanted for you to understand, you are responsible for your life, for this life and hereafter. Hereafter means the continuity. That is why people are very particular about meritorious deeds, because they think about their future. But some others criticize this attitude. Those who do good deeds, do meritorious deeds, thinking that they can have a pleasurable, wonderful, prosperous, happy life in the next birth. You see, we developed our craving more and more. We crave for the next life. We crave for enjoyment. It is craving. Can you say no? Yes, it is true. But the thing is this, the answer. No doubt there is craving. But we can understand that it is impossible for us to eradicate all our craving and attachments and inclinations and desire at once, deeply rooted in the mind. So it will take a long period for us to go to reduce all these things. So since we cannot become perfect human beings or saints at once, it is practical. We believe some meritorious deeds are important for us to carry on our journey smoothly, without facing so many problems. Now we can see millions of people all over the world how they suffer. Without food, without shelter, without clothing, without peace, suffering, running here and there as refugees. So why do they suffer like this? So from the Buddhist point of view, we can explain. While some others are enjoying their life, but still the majority in this world are suffering. Then what is the cause? Who is responsible for that? There is no correct answer, satisfactory answer. This is the only answer. Because our peaceful life, our pleasurable life, our satisfaction, we gain the experience according to our own action. Nobody else is responsible for that. Again, some others experience more miserable, very unfortunate, unhappy life. So others are not responsible for that. That means they have not done enough good deeds. Now if you suffer, you have to think, oh, something is wrong somewhere what I have done. Reflection came to me, either within this lifetime or previous birth. So when you can satisfy with your life, if you can gain certain things which you like, then you have to think, yes, I have done some good deeds. This is the way how this good deed reflects on me. This is the effect. So these differences were not created by another person, my own action. So here, karma or meritorious deeds does not mean what we have done during the past life. What we have done during the earlier part of our life, lot of merits and demerits, good and bad karma, the reaction effect come to us. If the karma is heavier, a weighty karma, either good one or bad one, the effect we experience within this lifetime. So now we can understand why the world is like this. No one can change this attitude. Do you think a God can change this attitude? The story that they always repeat, that human beings are sinners, at the beginning they have done a mistake, and because of that whole mankind had to suffer. To us, actually it is a cock and bull story. That's all. No meaning at all. Because somebody has created all these things. The Creator must know the effect, the repercussion, consequences. It is not that somebody else is handling all these things. Each and every person is handling individually. Don't depend on that somebody else. You have to handle your own way of life. Take the responsibilities by realizing this. Then you know how to adjust your life. Then you know what to do and what not to do. The method, so introduced by the Buddha. If you are not happy with this life, there is no meaning of grumbling or crying or criticizing or attacking or cursing or go on praying and worshipping day and night. Find out where the mistake. Think as human beings. Do you think you have no human mind to think? But the trouble is you never think. Warning, you cannot think. Always depend on somebody. Somebody else must think for you. You cannot think for you. Bankrupt. Mentally bankrupt. The Buddha wanted to open your mind. Think freely, even without depending on Buddha. We respect him. We worship him. We honor him. Who can say it is wrong? Mark of respect, we honor him. But do you think that the Buddha can wipe out all your sufferings and sins and this and that? It's not practical. No meaning at all. Now if you think there are two important things here for you to consider. Misconceptions. Buddhist and others, both have this belief. Now if we try to introduce the bad karmas that you have done during the early part of your life can be overcome by doing more meritorious deeds. People can misuse this interpretation. That means at the beginning they are not scared of doing bad deeds. They think later we will do some good deeds to overcome, to eclipse. See the bad effect? So we should not interpret in that case. And the other religions also do the same thing. They say, that is very peculiar way. You are sinners. If you believe in God, you pray, He will save your life. Wash away all your sins. Believe in God. So what is the difference now? Here the Buddhist interpretation, at least there is some service, because to overcome the bad effects of the bad deeds that we have done, we do some good deeds. But here, in their case, they don't ask you to do good deeds. Just pray and worship and believe. See the difference now. Do you think it really work? See the Buddha's way of thinking. He says method is not worshipping or praying or offerings or reciting or rites and rituals and ceremonies, and all these things are various aspects in every religion to introduce, to organize, to influence the public. Cannot contribute many things further than that. Then what is the method? People try to tell others they are very religious. What do they say? You see, these people are very religious people because every Sunday morning they go to churches and pray. Very religious. And these people are very religious. Every full moon and new moon days they come and worship in the temple. And some others say those people are very religious. Every Friday they go to mosque and pray. These are the religious people. Then define, analyze, see their way of life. When you analyze, you can see selfishness, cruelty, cunningness and criminal-minded people among all those people who go and pray and pray and pray. Then where is religion? So religion means that prayer, that worship, and that is religion. Now from the Buddhist point of view, whether you pray or not, whether you worship or not, these things are outward impression, attitude, to indicate that we are religious. But inside there is no religion. You can say, I bow down 1,000 times today. You regard this as a meritorious deed? Yes. Now if you concentrate without allowing your mind to move here and there while you are doing that, you can regard this as a meritorious deed. Concentration. It is because you have arrested your mind from all sorts of evil forces, diverted your mind, concentrated on one particular object, mark of respect, honor, with devotion. No one can say it is wrong. But that is not enough. Yes, you have done this, we cannot say you are very religious. Then what are the qualifications of a religious man? I can interpret by using only one sentence. Not necessary to mention the name of the precepts and morals and ethics and this and that. Only one sentence. What is that? Easy for you to remember. If you can live without disturbing another person, you are a religious man. That is enough. Everything is there. All your precepts, religious duties, all are there. Now if you develop your anger, can you live without disturbing another person? If you develop jealousy, can you live without disturbing another person? So we can take one by one all the morals and immorals and precepts, but this sentence. Therefore, try to live without disturbing another person. If you don't like to serve others, keep quiet, it doesn't matter. That is the highest contribution you can render towards others if you can live without disturbing your family members, your neighbors, others. You do your duty, attend to your work, your family. If others approach you, or if your services are needed, You can read the samsara. But if you can live without disturbing others, whether you pray or not, you are a religious person. And hereafter, now you are worried about your next life. You are preparing for that. You are collecting your pocket expenses for the next life. This is called merits. I told you it is important because we had to go. It's a long journey. But some other Buddhist schools, they cut short all these things. They say they don't want to go further. After this life, they are also not interested in meritorious deeds. Cut short. After their death, they believe that they will be landed somewhere, one particular place where they can stop their journey. This is a belief. I think majority among the Buddhist community maintain this belief. But I am sorry. This interpretation or explanations was given by them, but not by the Buddha. So when you refer to the basic teachings of the Buddha, it is impossible. Why it is impossible? Belief itself cannot fulfill our desire, what we want. Remember this. Belief itself cannot do that. We have to prepare for that. Then what is the method introduced by the Buddha? Craving for the next life, craving for our pleasure. So as long as these unsatisfied desire, people make lot of mistake because of this unsatisfied desire. Right? No one can satisfy desire. When you develop desire for certain thing, by hook or crook we get it. After gaining this, we want something else. Now that is why we cannot satisfy desire. There is no end to it. So as long as we maintain this attitude, it is impossible for us to stop this journey. Whether we believe that there will be a place for us to go and stay as end of our journey. This is the interpretation given by the Buddha. What we need is actually to depend on something to satisfy our desire. Whether it is right or wrong, we never consider. We need something to satisfy our desire. If we try to gain something to satisfy our desire, and this particular desire again increase the degrees of this desire, then where is the end of it? Now if you crave for nirvana, do you think we can gain it? Everybody like to experience Nibbana bliss, and you crave for that. If you crave for nirvana, do you think you can gain it? Never get it. Because in that craving, you create your own imagination. You create your own nirvana there. Therefore you won't get it. When you do your duty, aiming at nirvana, not craving. Aim is one thing as final goal. Craving is another thing. Since we cannot understand this situation, we always depend. People say we want to go to heaven. When we say actually we want to go to heaven, who go to heaven? Do you think you can go to heaven? Who is that you? You cannot understand, you are dreaming. It is a dream. Just like small children. When people talk about heaven, we say, wait, I also want to go to heaven. And you do not know what it is and where it is and who go to heaven. Nobody knows. Who is that you? We have created a concept in our mind, I, you. When we analyze all these component things as I or as you, in the final analysis we cannot find that I is missing and you also missing. Then what is that? Other religions use another sugar-coated word for that. And then they can understand. It is not I or you, but your spirit, your soul. But all these are words. Let us analyze to find that where this spirit or where this soul is. Can you find out? This is another imagination. So we always say we pray for the departed souls. There is no soul to depart. But this is our common usage, words that we use just to express our ideas, our concept. Then who goes to heaven and who goes to hell? Can you say nobody? Nobody. That is also wrong. Then we convert this into annihilation, nihilism, nothingness. No, it is not nothingness. Then there must be somebody. Then who is that somebody? These are the things that people cannot understand. We have to learn and think and understand, and then it is like this. Otherwise, we always think just like small children. Actually, small children's way of thinking about our life and heaven and hell. Create our own imaginations. That's all. Anyway, I don't want to create confusion in your mind. Because I need to settle this problem. Who goes to heaven and who goes to hell? But otherwise you may think, oh, there's nobody to go to heaven, why worry? I don't want to create that in your mind. There is nobody to go. Nothing from our physical body. That's what some people are still in the dark. When we talk about eye donation, kidney donation, after our death, not while we are living, still they are reluctant, cannot. You see, so when we go to next world, or heaven, or anywhere, so we won't get back the same thing. I donate eyes, then I will be blind in the next world. But they see like this when we talk about donation after their death. But while they are living here, they lose their eyes, their hands, arms, legs, and they never say, oh, what will happen to me after my death? So in the next birth I won't get. See how stupid we are. Real stupid. How selfish we are. And these are the things, people never think as real human beings for us to define. Because of that selfishness, introduced by religions, man become more selfish. After their death also they don't want to contribute anything for the welfare of others. After burning or burial, they know very well all these things decay and disappear. Even then, they are not willing to give their consent to donate something for the benefit of others. How can we say that we can understand religion if we maintain such belief? Yes, I opened this Ratana Sutta, did not recite even first line. I didn't know where I am going now. How I got into this track. I wanted to explain the devotion, the importance of devotion in religion, then slowly went further and further and further. And anyway, I believe a certain thing that I discuss is very important for you to think. I think later, if you cannot understand today, later you appreciate what so and so said is true, if not today. Take time. Because you are in the dark. You had no proper religious education and your family background. Your parents also have not studied religion. They had a bit of worshipping and praying, at least maintain that tradition, that's all. Then after your education, or you cannot satisfy with your parents' religion, then you change your religion or remain without any religion. Nobody to tell you what is the correct path, or what is the real religious life. So we are doing all sort of things in the name of religion, not knowing what religion is, or the purpose of religion. Religion is not for us to suffer. Not necessary for us to suffer in the name of our religion. Oh, I am suffering to practice my religion. Buddhism is not that type of religion. So that is why you cannot find any religious punishment in Buddhism. Religion is not to punish people. There is a government for that. Religion is to guide people. That is the only duty of a religion. So the Buddha did not appear in this world to curse the sinners, to punish the sinners. He appeared in this world to tell others what to do, how to avoid bad things, and how to do good things, why you should do good things, to tell you. If you are not ready to listen to his teaching, the Buddha cannot do anything for you. Without following his advices, you go and worship him. The Buddha cannot help you for that. Not practical. When you get into trouble, you remember the Buddha. Then suddenly come, I am in trouble, please pray for me. I hope Buddha will help me. Otherwise you will remember the Buddha earlier. If you have remembered him earlier, if you followed his advices, you will never get into trouble. Because you know how to handle in your life. So your method is wrong. Again, I have given these examples on many occasions. When you are very sick, you go to a doctor, first class doctor, specialist. He gives some advices. These are the foods you have to abstain, these are the things that you can take, and this medicine, this prescription, and all sort of instruction. You come and tell others, I consulted a first class doctor. He's a very good God. You keep all your medicines and prescription, and you never follow his advices about your diet and your daily routine. You praise that doctor is very good. You take some sticks and offer, this doctor is very good, I pray and offer. Do you think you can get rid of your sickness? The Buddha is a practical religious teacher, not a mythical, but practical. If you are not ready to listen, of course you cannot become perfect human beings at once, but admit your weaknesses, try to adjust day by day to mold your way of life, and then you are following. Don't try to be perfect at once, it is impossible. By realizing this attitude is wrong, these things are wrong, these actions are wrong, then try to reduce. Then you are following that religious teacher. Then why do you want to follow that religious teacher? To do some service to him? No. For your own benefit, for your own happiness, for your own salvation. So when you follow this method, indirectly you help others to live peacefully. That is why I told you in simple. If you can live without disturbing others, that religious principle is more than enough for you.
Today we have to explain number 6, isn't it? Ye Puggala Atta Satang Pasattha Yattari Etani Yugani Honti Te Dakhineya Sugatassa Savaka Etesu Ginnani Mahaphala Idampi Sanghe Ratanang Panitam Etena Satchena Suarthi Hotu. Those 8 individuals praised by the virtuous, they constitute 4 pairs. The worthy of offering, the disciples of the welcomed one. To these gift-given yield abundant fruits. Verily, in the Sangha is this precious jewel. By this may there be happiness. Those disciples of the Buddha who have attained Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahanta, 4 stages. First they attain Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahanta, Magga. That means they got into that path, but they never return. Those who have entered into that path never return, never reverse. That is why the first stage, Sotapanna, is called stream winner. Without reversing, without coming back, reach or continue the journey until that person attains his nirvana. Then the same 4 group again experience peace, bliss, freedom, liberation, happiness in their mind. That is called phala, fruit, result. So after gaining one of these 4 stages, they experience certain amount of peace and happiness and liberations in their mind. So divided into 4. 4 again 8. Magga, those who got into that path. Phala, those who are experiencing the good result by gaining this sainthood. It's not difficult to understand. Then, how to gain it? This is the biggest problem. Becoming an arahant, the highest stage, is not an easy task. According to Tripitaka or the Theravada school of Buddhism, regarded as the original teaching of the Buddha. There are 3 ways or 3 methods for people to experience Nibbanic bliss. Easiest way is by becoming an arahant. And the second method is by becoming a Pacceka Buddha. Pacceka Buddha means silent Buddha. Gained enlightenment, but they never come forward to preach or teach others. That is their way of life. The other one is becoming a Samma Sambuddha or Supreme Enlightened Buddha. He is the one who can enlighten others, who can show the correct path. Even Arahantas also cannot do properly. Whatever they have learned from the Buddha, or from the Dhamma, they can preach to others. But their perfection is one thing, holiness is another thing, and enlightenment is something else. So the Arahantas are not fully enlightened like Samma Sambuddha, but they are perfect, holy. They have completed their journey. But knowledge, understanding, enlightenment, different. They have eradicated all the defilements from their mind. They never develop craving, anger, ignorance also not there. Ignorance, when we define this word, one who does not know how to appreciate the Four Noble Truths, Eight Noble Paths, Nibbanic bliss, is regarded as ignorance. Now we are under that category. We are still ignorant. Our knowledge is a theory, theoretical knowledge. Realization is not. If realization appeared in our mind, we never behave like this. Completely change our attitude. So still we are under that group. So Arahantas have completely uprooted, eradicated, and such desire or anger never appear in their mind. It is impossible to appear. Then, when they are going to experience Nibbanic bliss, there is no difference. The way how an Arahanta experiences Nibbanic bliss, and the way how a Pacceka Buddha experience, and the way how Samma Sambuddha experience, no difference. Same bliss, same freedom, same happiness. But the differences we can find in their knowledge, their presentations of the Dhamma, the capability of expounding or enlightening others. Now there are 6 characteristics in Samma Sambuddha, which we cannot find in any other religious teacher or Arahantas or even Samma Sambuddha. These 6 special qualities have developed only by Samma Sambuddha or Supreme Enlightenment Buddha. One of them is Asaya Anusaya Jnana. Asaya Anusaya Jnana. That means the Supreme Enlightened Buddha is the only one who can preach by knowing your understanding capacity. How far you can understand. How much you can understand. And what are the difficulties for you to understand? and what sort of hindrances, defilement, confusions are there in your mind for you to hinder, to understand this. Only the Buddha can understand. Arahantas also can. They can preach, but they haven't got that penetrative knowledge. That is the very reason why on many occasions the Buddha had to keep quiet without giving any answer to many questions. Because he can understand that Krishna cannot understand. If he answers, he creates more confusion in his mind. It's impossible for another person to force to understand anything. If the understanding capacity is poor in that mind, outsiders cannot do anything. The Buddha can understand. Another important characteristic, Yamaka Maha Patiharya Jnana, twin miracles. Among all those miracles that religious teachers, Arahantas and many others who have developed their mind through their meditation would manage to perform various kind of supernatural miraculous power. But there is one particular miracle only a Samma Sambuddha or Supreme Enlightened Buddha can perform, but not by others. It's called twin miracle. Twin miracles mean the water comes from one nostril, fire comes from the other nostril. Because these two things cannot come from the same fountain. Only Buddha can do that. So when he visited his hometown after his enlightenment, he was born in a Kshatriya, Sakya clan. They are very proud. They are the rulers. By nature, they have some sort of pride, prestige in their mind. They do not respect others. They believe that others must respect them. So when the Buddha visited, elders were reluctant to pay respect to the Buddha. They did not pay respect. What they did, they asked more young one to go and pay respect. Elderly one did not go. By realizing this, he knew it is not so easy to enlighten them, to reduce their pride. Then he performed this miracle, twin miracle. Having seen what it is, they knew it is impossible for an ordinary man or any other religious teachers in this world who can do this. Then all of them bow down and paid respect. Another one is called Sabbanyutta Jnana. We always talk about all-knowing one. One who knows everything. There are many others. But when you compare all those all-knowing ones and the Buddha, there is a difference. Although others can claim that they know everything, still they do not know that there are many things they do not know. But in the case of the Buddha, it is not like that. There is nothing here in this universe that will exist, either matters or elements or energies or forces or whatever it may be, that the Buddha cannot understand what it is. Arahantas, knowledge also very limited. Pacceka Buddhas, knowledge also limited. And Samma Sambuddha's knowledge, there is no limit. Anything that which exists in any part of the universe, he can realize, he can define and explain what it is. Sabbanyuta jnana. Then Maha Karuna Samapatti jnana. Karuna, compassion. Many other teachers also had compassion. Kindness, compassion. But in their compassion there is a limit. Their compassion is limited either only towards human beings, or only for two-legged one or four-legged one, if not all the visible one. Now you can, when you study this very carefully, you read Metta, Sutta, you can understand what sort of loving kindness or compassion that he had. And compare this with all the other existing religions. We see the vast difference. Many other religions could manage to extend their compassion towards human beings, that's all. Limited. Thou shalt not kill. The limit only for human beings. That means they can kill others. And some other religions have gone beyond that. All visible, existing living beings. So they have stopped their loving kindness to all the existing living beings that they can see. And some others develop their loving kindness to all the other living beings that already exist in this world. But when you read Ratana Sutta, you can say Bhutava Sambhavesiva. All those who were born and unborn are again extended further in the process of developing their life. Any kind of living being. Visible or invisible. So when we radiate our loving kindness by using this word, may all living beings, visible or invisible, born or unborn, extend further and further. But we consider all in this world. We extend our loving kindness towards all the existing living beings on this earth.